First of all, the entire team from Andreea Braescu Art Studio would like to thank you very much for choosing to have one of our light sculptures to bring life into your environment. We appreciate that very much, and we would like to assist you as much as we can in your task of unboxing and mounting it. That's why we put together this tutorial video that you're about to watch. In order to mount the light sculpture, you will need the following tools: a ladder that allows you to reach the ceiling, a roll of tape, a laser leveler, crimping pliers, cutting pliers, a measuring tape, a screwdriver, a drilling machine with 6mm and 8mm drill heads, and a hammer. This is the box in which the Jinko light sculpture is delivered. Please verify that the box is undamaged and that it's always the right way up. Carefully cut the plastic strings and the tape holding the box closed. Open the box. Once the box is open, carefully remove the top foam plate. Very carefully remove the top layer holding the metal structure in place. Pay special attention not to damage the metal structure while doing this. Remove the metallic frame from the box by lifting it together with the foam support structure. Use the lifting cutouts from the bottom plate. Place the foam structure holding the metallic frame somewhere safe for the time being. Take out from the box the ceiling drilling pattern, the instruction manual, and the boxes with components one by one and line them on the ground. One by one, carefully cut away the plastic tape and open the boxes, taking note what's inside each of them. Paying attention to the desired orientation of the lamp in your environment, using the silhouette drawn on the drilling pattern, place the drilling pattern on the ground under the position where the light sculpture will be installed and fix it in place using tape. Be very careful that it stays straight according to the position you have chosen. In one of the corners of the pattern, you will find a rectangular area with the drilling pattern of the ceiling adaptation piece. Please cut that away from the pattern and place it in the circle indicated in the middle of the drilling pattern. That should roughly coincide with the ceiling power outlet, as that will be the point where the connection will be made between the main power cable of the space and the main power cable of the light sculpture. Place the laser leveler on each hole marked on the drilling pattern and project it upwards towards the ceiling. Now drill all the holes indicated on the pattern. If the ceiling is made of concrete, you will need to drill 8mm holes for the suspension system and 6mm holes for the ceiling adaptation piece, then to insert the concrete dowels included in the package. If it's made of sheetrock, please use the appropriate metal dowels. If the ceiling, as in this demonstrative case, is made out of wood, then use wood screws directly by inserting the wood screw in the ceiling attachment pieces. Mount the ceiling adaptation piece by using the screws provided. Place the crimped end of each steel wire into the quick screw cap. Holding the crimped end of the quick screw cap, screw each of the 3 steel wires in the ceiling attachments. Now you need to take the metallic frame out of its support foam structure. Pay special attention while doing that, as many metallic elements are fragile and they can be damaged easily. Examine the metallic frame and locate the 3 holding mechanisms fixed on the metallic frame. They are labeled with letters A, B, C, and so on, corresponding with the letters A, B, C from the drilling pattern. The metal hanging wires are as well labeled with the letters A, B, C, and so on. Please be sure to match all the letters of the wires with the letters of the holes and with the letters of the cable holding mechanisms. Insert the end of the correct steel cable in the nozzle of the holding mechanism until the end of the cable appears through the lower aperture. When that happens, pull the cable out of that lower aperture. If it goes too far, or if you are not correctly matching the labels on the drilling pattern with the labels on the holding mechanism on the metallic frame, you can pull the cable out by pressing on the nozzle inwards and pulling the cable out. Place the structure on the cables at a height that allows easy access for the mounting of the further components. You now need to insert the light bulbs, being sure that they are correctly fixed in place to assure a correct functionality. Please do the electrical connections between the modules by identifying the cables connecting them and plugging them into the WAGO connectors. Please note that the position of the cable connecting the modules together must be one that is as hidden as possible, so you should follow the flow of the installation and insert them roughly in the middle of the metallic frames. In order to be certain that the bulbs are mounted correctly, please temporarily mount the main power cable to an electricity source. Now unplug the main power cable from the electricity source and insert the main power cable temporarily through the ceiling adaptation unit, fixing it in place by tightening the plastic screw on the strain relief. Screwing the glass shades over the light bulbs is the next step. You need to place the silicone gasket over the screws and screw the shade in place, paying special attention that the position of the shade is in the middle of the bulb's base. Now you must take the red labeled porcelain connector mask out of its cover. Find the red label on the metallic frame. That will indicate the side on which the porcelain connector mask should be mounted. Using the two M3 screws with silicone gaskets, fix it in place on the metallic frame. Remove the red label from the porcelain connector mask. Please find the green label porcelain connector mask and take it out of its wrapping. Organize the power cable so that the ceiling power cable will be fed through the upper opening and the power cables towards the chandelier and towards the other modules will be fed through the lower opening. Remove the green label from the porcelain connector mask. Please note that the boxes containing leaves are clearly marked with their exterior according to the types of leaves contained in the box. Take the leaves out one by one and start mounting them on the metallic frame. Please note that on the stalks of the metallic structure you will find labels with the numbers from 1 to 5. This goes together with the color codes on the inner face of each stalk. These labels, as well as the colors, are indicating what type of leaf is meant for that particular stalk. You should never mix them up, as this will lead to situations of mounting impossibilities or damages to the chandelier. Don't take the leaves out all at once, as this will leave them vulnerable. Please note that each stalk at its outermost end has a milled face. That face corresponds to the concave face on each of the leaves. This indicates the orientation of the leaf on each particular stalk. You should always pay attention to the orientation of the leaf and avoid mounting it backwards, as this will lead to situations of mounting impossibilities and damages to the chandelier. Place each leaf on its corresponding stalk on the metallic structure. Watch out that the screw hole on the leaf is lined up with the screw hole on the stalk and start screwing the M2 screws with silicone gaskets until the leaf is fixed in place. Always check that the silicone gasket is in its place. Tightening the screw on the leaf without the silicone gasket will leave it vulnerable to being unscrewed over a long period of time and will make the entire chandelier unsafe. At the end of the mounting of each leaf, After you checked once more that the label of the leaf corresponds with the label on the stock, you must remove both labels. The overall look of the main power cable should be like a loose arc. So measure what you estimate to be the length sufficient to form a loose arc and add to that an extra length to allow an easy access later on when you will need to make the final electrical connections. Now cut away the remaining end of the main power cable. Now you must prepare the cable for its final connection to the power outlet by uninsulating its endings. Now, at the middle of the main power cable, you must make a small loop and fix it in place with a piece of tape. You must insert the mask nut silicon gasket, and the porcelain sealing mask on the cable and rest them on the loop you just made in the middle of the main power cable. Now you must insert the cable through the opening of the sealing adaptation. Now you must connect the cable from the main power outlet to the main power cable of the chandelier using a terminal block. Tighten the plastic screw on the strain relief on the main power cable until you feel that the cable can no longer be pulled back. Now carefully lift the porcelain mask in its final resting place on the ceiling and fix it in place using the mask nut and the mask nut silicon gasket. Now you must open the small loop you made in the middle of the power cable and arrange the cable so it harmoniously flows in place. Now that the length of all the cables is adjusted and you are certain that the chandelier is in its final resting place, you must remove all the labels from the mounting systems and cut away the excess steel cable.